welcome back to TF1C, the Formula 1 chat. This weekend, the Formula 1 circus heads to Azerbaijan. We're in Baku, racing around the streets of Baku at a very fast-paced street circuit. Have to say, one of my favourite tracks on the grid. I think it's a very good balance between high octane racing, very close to the barriers, but also overtaking is actually a thing that happens there. Yeah. I mean, we've just been to Monaco where we've watched, I think, 2 actual overtakes.
To be fair, I actually seen
there was a lot of action compared to
there's a lot of overtakes, but the Monaco race directors, as we know, aren't great
and never really on it.
But yeah, we head to Baku, back-to-back race. No, not back-to-back race weekends.
No, back-to-back following this though, because we've got Baku and then we're straight into Canada, which I have to say is an absolute trek for the mechanics, because Azerbaijan and Canada are absolutely nowhere near.
Yeah.
So,
but obviously Baku was a race it was last season, although hopefully they've sorted out the tyre problem.
Well, you'd like to hope Pirelli have learned from their mistakes and we won't get quite a disgraceful race. Now, it was very interesting. Well, it's very exciting, and the fact that neither of the championship leaders benefited from something that wasn't their fault is fine.
Should we get into this year then?
Yeah, just a quick update. I've gone on the F1 site and seen that Williams have been fined $25,000 for procedural breach of financial regulations. That's
Christian Horner's
exciting.
Talked a lot about the budget cap and the money.
They failed to hit the second deadline. Wow, okay, well that's interesting. Right then.
Let's find them more money.
Yeah. As we go into this, of course, Max Verstappen does lead the championship 9 points ahead of Charles, and Perez is 6 behind them. Quali then. Should we run up to the top 10? Do you want to get started with your back 10?
Latifi in 20th. Who's surprised? I'm not. Stroll 19th, Tsunoda 17th, Tsunoda 18th, Lewis Hamilton 17th.
Wow. That is
Gasly 16th, Alex Albon in 15th, 14th Carlos Sainz, 13th Guan Yu Zhou, 12th Sebastian Vettel, 11th Mick Schumacher.
That's interesting. If you talk about that, Hamilton 17th. What is going on there?
I feel like it's just going to be because obviously he's had a bit of an up and down season, but at Saudi it just felt like the car just wasn't there. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like it's going to have a bit of a moment, bit of an error.
And then Ferrari down in 14th, Carlos Sainz. Why is that happening?
This is a bit of a random pun. I think he's going to repeat Charles Leclerc's "I am stupid" moment.
Wow,
and put it into the castle wall in Q2.
But still ahead of Albon.
He's not going to bother doing that.
Okay.
He's got engine problems. He can't do that.
All right, and a big disparity between the Astons, 12th and 19th.
Yeah, I kind of think I base that on how Vettel did last year, getting the podium in Baku, and Stroll. Well, Stroll's out to him, but he wasn't very high anyway.
Fair enough. Right, I'll go through my back 10 then. I've got Latifi last, of course, and I've got Schumacher 19th. I've not been impressed with his performances so far, so yeah, another poor quality here. Aston's in 18th and 17th, but it's, again, Stroll that's the worst of the two, and Gasly the other to be knocked out in Q1. Albon 15th. I think he'll get through, but he's not going to have any immense pace. Tsunoda 14th and Zhou in 13th. And it's going to be Lewis Hamilton out in 12th. Unfortunate for him, I think he'll just have not quite enough pace to get through. And then K-Mag will be on the edge of the top 10, but significantly ahead of his teammates.
Few similarities. Latifi and Stroll down the bottom.
I've got brain cells though, and think Sainz is going to actually start racing well.
I wouldn't say.
Oh, interesting.
But also a Haas on the edge. And
I don't think he's made that many mistakes.
Okay, right, should we get to the top 10 then?
Oh yeah, sure. I went straight for the race there. That's over. P10 then.
P10, I have Mr. Consistent this season. Valtteri Bottas loves a low points finish in every race this season, I believe. Apart from Monaco, actually.
Yeah, he's been in around that 5, 6, 7, 8 mark. Yeah, no, he's outside the points at Monaco.
But mostly this season, I think apart from Monaco and maybe one other race, he's been very consistent, scoring quite a few points for Alfa Romeo, and I think they'll be very happy with their progress this year.
I think they'll be more than content with his performances thus far.
Their performance in general, the car. They're a backmarker team, and now they've made a big push up.
They seem to have leapfrogged the likes of Aston Martin,
Alpine.
I don't think they've leapfrogged Alpine at all. AlphaTauri, Ricardo, but not McLaren. So yeah,
Well,
and
I've got Ricardo
occasionally the
I've
Mercs
got
at
Ricardo in our
times.
top 10s, so
Yeah,
weekend.
no, I do actually. P10 then. I have Esteban Ocon. Just a decent result for the Alpine. I think they'll be a little bit annoyed he's not a little bit higher, but I think he'll be content. That's a decent place at least to start the race from.
Yeah, I'll carry on that. I've got an Alpine 8-9 qualifying. I've got Fernando Alonso in P9 and Esteban Ocon in P8. Decent, low top 10 finish for the Alpine, but they're both in the Q3, so I think...
Yeah, fair enough. I have then Daniel Ricciardo in P9. I think the McLaren will actually have pace this weekend.
Yeah.
This is a track that could suit them. Be interesting to see, but yeah. And then I've got George Russell P8. I think this could work in his favour again, Baku, because there's there's not as many corners. But I do think they will lose time at corners, as we saw. They seem to be bouncing, or the tyres seem to be bouncing on the corners. So to negate the porpoising, they've put bouncing in the corners. Interesting to see how, because it could work massively, or they could have changed something. Because I imagine they've had 2 weeks.
They'll probably be quite quick on that straight though.
They might have done something. Yeah, I reckon they probably will. P7, who've you got?
P7, I've got Kevin Magnussen.
It's quite
Decent
high.
result for the Haas. Yeah, I did. I was a bit surprised. Surprised by my own prediction, which is a bit weird. Yeah, I don't really know. I just feel like he's gonna adapt well. He's just gonna put a good lap in.
Brilliant, love that. P7, I've got Valtteri Bottas.
Again,
You had him P10. Yeah, I think he'll just be in and around. I don't think he's quite touching the top 6 yet, but I think he's still going to be in contention.
Okay,
some good points.
P6, I have Daniel Ricciardo. I feel like all this talk about McLaren not happy with his performance and the fact they might terminate his contract at the end of the season and who could replace him. I feel like he's going to want to prove a point and prove that he still is a very good driver at the sharp end.
Why would that change now?
He's
been being crucified for a year and a half now as needing to step up, and he's not. He's not then.
Well, the
criticism hasn't worked
at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. Baku's not really a track he likes.
He loves it.
He literally put it in the back of Max Verstappen. Or did Max put it? I can't remember.
I think it was Max in the back of Daniel. But made 3 overtakes into turn 1 once.
Yeah.
All right.
I think if there's going to be a turning point, it's likely to be a Monza.
I've kind of gone for Baku because I do think we could just see maybe a little more confidence with Ricardo on the brakes into turn 1. Sending it. We've seen the old Daniel Ricardo.
Yeah, he just doesn't seem comfortable in that car. So I don't know, and I don't think that'll help him in qualifying at all. But he could do.
Good point. I don't know what I'm on about really.
I think he'd be more racy than he would be. Okay, brilliant.
He's going to get a good lap in.
My P6 is Fernando Alonso. Very solid 6th for the Spaniard. I don't know. I think he's just had good pace this year, and I think he'll continue that form into Baku. P5, who you got?
P5, I've got George Russell. I think Mercedes will be quick, but the reason I put Hamilton down in P17, I can feel like you get maybe a bad first run. He might scrape a wall or something or get blocked, and then I feel like he could miss the checkered flag because I think we'll see a lot of queuing up into those last corner.
Would be controversial, to be fair.
I feel like he could miss the checkered flag and get knocked out, and then it's like Mercedes are furious and Toto Wolff's gonna slam his headset back on the table.
Yeah, fair enough. P5, I have Lando Norris, the best of the rest. I don't think he's quite got the pace to mix it with the Ferrari Red Bull contingent, but I think he will just be in a solid, maybe a 10th off. The guy I have in 4th, Carlos Sainz, about a 10th off there. And your 4th?
Yes, P4, I have Lando Norris again. I think he's the best of the rest, and the only reason he's above Sainz is because Sainz is going to put it in a wall.
So I believe leaves us with the same top 3, right?
Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc.
Yes, but in what order? Do you have it?
P3, I've got Charles Leclerc, so it's going to be a Red Bull
1-2. Wow.
lockout. But the man on pole will be Sergio Perez.
Wow.
Confidence high at the moment, and I've seen a lot of talk saying what's going to happen now because is Checo Perez back? Is he in the title fight? And if he is, then Red Bull will have a problem.
I think there's definitely a clause, or at least a verbal agreement.
If you are ahead of Max and asked to move out of the way, you must move out of the way.
Yeah, perhaps.
But I feel like confidence high. He's been very quick. Obviously, he won Baku last year, and I feel like that was a statement because that was the first race where Checo was actually on the pace with Max and Hamilton.
Yeah, equally he wouldn't have won it without.
Yeah, I know, but it's still got P2.
Extraneous circumstances. Yeah, fair enough. I've got Max P3. Now, obviously, I'm a Max Verstappen fan, but I don't know. He's just really struggled to get the car dialed in for qualifying recently, and I've been a little bit disappointed with his performances. Usually, it was his quali that was brilliant, and he was always on par. I mean, look at last season, absolutely formidable in qualifying, but not really been getting it dialed in this season. I mean, you look at Monaco, just couldn't seem to find any pace all weekend, but still managed to come away with a very, very solid P3 and gain points on Charles Leclerc. But that big loss to Perez. Anyway, yeah, I think Perez will then take pole with Charles just behind Perez, as you mentioned, on a massive confidence high at the moment. I think he'll continue that good form. And we saw Leclerc has good pace at Baku, like he did at Monaco. I think, last year, he took pole here.
Yeah.
Ahead of Verstappen and Hamilton, who both looked quicker. Equally, they were on better laps. Again, a red flag. Not Leclerc this time, but Ricardo, I believe it was.
Yeah,
Ricardo and Sainz had that weird moment, yeah.
Ricardo put it in the wall and Sainz just, again, I don't know why he does it. He did
Tried
it
to
with
dodge
Perez
it.
in Monaco,
Yeah.
just went into him.
No, he didn't hit him, did he? He tried.
No, he didn't hit him, but
he
he
didn't
went off.
see him, so he had to go down the escape road.
Why is Sainz always there? Why is Sainz always involved?
Yeah.
Okay,
Who knows?
yeah,
Right,
it's
race.
racing.
We'll run through them all because
Okay.
I've got 5 DNFs to get
Are
through.
we going to the top 10 then again?
I know we'll just go
Okay.
through them as they come.
Okay, I'll do
Do
my
your
2
DNFs,
DNFs first. I've got a crash between Zhou and Albon. Only Sainz separates them in the field. I can kind of see Sainz gets past Zhou, Albon behind. Albon then is right behind Zhou Guan Yu. And then, I don't know, let's go collide. I think Albon's only done Baku once.
Yeah.
And Zhou's only done
trying to
Aussie and
remember,
F2, so...
But then, Albon would have done it before then. And it is a track that features in a few other series, I think.
I just felt like they're going to crash.
Not many, though.
I saw those two close to each other. I saw that they hadn't really raced around here in F1, so I thought, might as well.
Fair enough. Both strike me as, I don't know, they don't tend to get into any incidents. They seem very squeaky clean. But, it's Formula 1, anything can happen, yeah. I've got a big incident into turn 1. Okay. I think Stroll into his teammate.
Yeah.
Big, because they're starting next to each other on the grid, and then into Pierre Gasly. So Stroll, Vettel, Gasly, all out of turn 1 because Stroll forgot how to press the brake pedal. So they'll all be out. And then later into the race, so when we get to the first round of pit stops, half the grid will come in. Then Bottas and Russell, who've stayed out on their tyres, will be racing into turn 1, crash. Now that then gives a big problem because the people that have just pitted are going to lose out because of the safety car. Obviously, because the pace that they'll be, the people ahead will be able to pit under safety car and gain advantage there. So I think therefore, they might lose out to 1 or 2 drivers. So
Okay,
well, we'll get into that higher up the grid.
Oh, where's that? So I need to go.
So
on
P15 is my next one. So you do 18, 17, and 16.
P18 got Pierre Gasly. Last classified runners,
Nice.
I feel like he could maybe have a bit of a loss of engine power with a few laps to go or something. And then Latifi 17.
I was going to say, it's like the first time you've not put Latifi as the last classified runner. He's a 1 place higher.
Sonoda in 16th, terrible weekend.
I was going to say,
again
a tough weekend for AlphaTauri.
Again. To be fair though, Gasly got a great result in...
18th.
Oh, okay.
No, Monaco, he did well with the pitting early and then just ended up in no man's land.
I feel like pace-wise they're not great AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
And then P15, I got Lance Stroll.
Yeah, fair enough. My 15th is Latifi, the last of the classified runners.
P14 then, I've got Mick Schumacher.
Yeah.
Dropping back a couple places from his starting position. Bit of a nothing race for Mick.
Yeah, fair enough. My P14 is Yuki Tsunoda, just 3 places higher than his teammate Gasly, who crashes out. Well, 4 places higher, but not a great season for Gasly. Yuki's had a decent season, I'd say, especially compared to his teammate, but he is working with very limited resources.
P13, I've got Sebastian Vettel. Decent result for the Aston, but again, not points.
Better than where I put him.
Yeah. But again, just enough. Yeah. Bit of a boring race for Seb.
Yeah, fair enough. P13, I have Daniel Ricciardo. I just don't know what is up with Ricardo at the moment. I don't know how he's going to change it. He's been absolutely nowhere near the pace of Lando. He's not he's just not getting dialed in with the car at all, ever, and it's a problem. It's a big problem.
Hello.
I think there's no return now for Daniel Ricciardo.
Has been training with Jack Doohan. So.
Okay, he's going to be rapid then, because Doohan is the GOAT. So, no, I don't know. I think Ricciardo's IndyCar now. I just don't see what seat he gets in Formula 1 next season, and he's not shown the pace this season to deserve an F1 seat. He's won Monaco, so he'd have to go race in NASCAR.
Would he do that?
And Indy.
You might.
I think what's the Triple Crown is Indy 500s
and NASCAR.
No.
I can't remember what it is.
What is it? Indy 500s, Monaco GP,
Buggy race,
Extreme E.
Shotgun trolley race.
Let me have a look.
Anyway, you did your P13, did you? Okay, I'll go on for my P12. I got Lewis Hamilton making a bit of ground from the shocking quali, but not really making too much. I feel like get caught in a DRS train.
24-hour Le Mans. So we'd have to go do Le Mans as well.
Would he do that?
Don't know. He might.
If he went and won Indy 500, he then might go do it to try and get the Triple Crown. But
yeah,
I feel like him and Alonso are the type of drivers to then go do IndyCar.
To pursue that because they love racing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, indeed.
So I had P12 Hamilton making decent ground, but not really doing too
my
much.
P12 is Mick Schumacher. I think he'll be one of the drivers that, I mean, obviously he's qualifying P19. Yeah. I don't know. I think Ricardo will have a tough weekend. I think he could also get caught out on that, on the safety car thing, as I mentioned, where his teammate might gain.
And Norris gonna win. Who knows?
Not that much. Yuki, as I said, behind him, but. Yeah, so Nick does get up the grid a bit, but not into the points.
Okay, P11, I've got Esteban Ocon just missing out, dropping back only the 3 places from a good spot. I think it'll be decently quick, but it's gonna be one of those where I think he might just drop back a little bit, but still have decent pace.
Yep, just missing out on points. I have Alex Albon. Another good race, the Thai-Brit driver, but not quite getting in the points. Have you got P10?
P10, and the person getting the single point, I've got Kevin Magnussen. Dropping back from P7 in quali, but holding on for a point for Haas. Another good weekend.
I think we'll be happy with a point.
Yeah.
He's not got a point in a while. Speaking of people who haven't got a point in a while, Zhou Guanyu. He's had a few weekends where he's got unlucky with reliability.
He had that P10, or P10, P11, P11.
Yeah.
And then kind of dropped down again to P16, 15.
Yeah, he's had a few reliability issues, hasn't he? He's had to retire early, he's had a few problems here and there. But I think this will be a solid weekend for him and a point for Guanyu Zhou, which is, decent. Starts from P13, gets up to P10. If you got P9.
Again, it's Zhou Guanyu's teammate. It's Valtteri Bottas. Again, consistent result for Bottas. Another few points out from Romeo.
Yeah, I'd Bottas coming together with Russell and crashing out.
Not very consistent. But
no, not really.
I think he's going to keep up his great season he's had so far and grab 2 points for Alfa Romeo.
Yep, fair enough. P9, I have Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah.
Not really been up in the points, but I think this will be his weekend to actually secure something decent. Not different. So I think he'll be more than content with that P9. On the top 8 then, these are, not really big points per position, but a decent amount. P8, who've you got?
Getting a decent amount for the first time in weeks, Daniel Ricardo. P8, decent points, dropping back a couple, but I think he'll fight hard with Bottas, Magnussen, and I think he'll hold on to P8. Decent points. I think he'll be very happy with it.
Yeah, fair enough. My P8 is Pierre Gasly, a guy in desperate need of some luck, some points, a bit of form. I think a place where he got a podium last season, I believe. Yeah, he was P3, wasn't he? Said P2, Perez P1, wasn't he? Yeah, I think it'll be the place where Gasly can rekindle some form. He looked really racy in Monaco on the alternative strategy. And I think he might. Obviously, starting from P16, he gets. I know, obviously, everyone gets a free choice of tyre, but I think he might be one of those drivers that could try an alternative strategy and maybe get. Because I think if he could start on like softs, make up a few positions off the start, when everyone else starts on mediums or something like that, pit early for mediums, have loads of pace, catch back up to the pack, and obviously they all pit under safety car and he emerges ahead of a few. I think that could be something like that, some kind of alternative strategy, because they've got to start taking risks. If they are down in P16, there's no reason why not to.
Up and down his season's been. I've got him in P18. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. P7. Yeah. I've got Carlos Sainz, making his way up the grid from P14, but again, a bit like Hamilton, not really making up. P7 still a decent result from P14.
Yeah, but it's not what Ferrari are going to need him to be doing.
Not at all. And again, it would come under questions of Sainz's inconsistency this season, especially compared to the likes of Perez, who's had a great season, apart from despite the reliability issues.
Yeah, my P7 is Lewis Hamilton. A big gain from P12. Lewis needs some points, needs some luck. I mean, he said in an interview recently he wants the Merc to be competitive for wins by Silverstone because he wants to win his home Grand Prix. I don't know if that will happen. I mean, for the sake of the title fight, because I think it's been a better title fight this year without Merc up there. I think it'd be better to have them not competitive.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny seeing Lewis fans on Twitter very upset. So, yeah. I don't know. I'd be interested to see whether they do have some pace. But I think here they will just have a bit of pace on the straights. And with the drivers ahead of him being like not stunning and most of them just moving out of his way.
Like they usually do.
Well, Bottas and Russell coming together will already alleviate
like last
him
year when Hamilton needs some help, Russell and Bottas came together in Imola.
Yeah, right. Top 6 then.
P6, I have Lando Norris, qualifying on the second row, showing some decent pace, only losing out to 2 drivers, obviously, but I'm not going to tell you who they are because that would ruin my predictions that I'm about to give you. But yeah, P6 for Lando. Decent result again, more points again, beating Ricardo and giving what McLaren want, which is near the top end of the points.
Yeah, fair enough. P5 and 6 kind of come as a package deal for me because they're 2 drivers that get caught out under the through the safety car crash period. I've got Sainz and Perez because I think Ferrari and Red Bull will pick them first. They'll try Red Bull will bring in Sainz, and to cover him off, Red Bull will bring in Perez, and then to cover him off, Ferrari will bring in Sainz. Yeah. And then, obviously, the incident happens, they'll get caught out by that. And then P3 and 4, who I'll get onto in just a second, will, of course, benefit from that.
P5 then, I'll go all the way to P4 then. P5, I've got Fernando Alonso. Very good result. Top 5 finish for him again. Gaining positions from P9. I think we can see some decent strategy from Alpine. They've got it right recently. Good racecraft, good result for Alonso. And then into P4, I have George Russell. Only gaining 1 position, overtaking Lando, and another consistent result and another points finish for George Russell. And the only carrying on being the only driver to finish in the points every race.
Do you have Red Bulls and Leclerc left?
Yes.
Right, P4, just missing out on the podium is Fernando Alonso, the guy you've put P5. I think it'd be one of the 2 that benefit, along with the guy who I've put in 3rd, and 2 others. But yeah, what is your podium then?
So, P3, I have the pole sitter, Sergio Perez, which leaves a top 2 of Verstappen and Leclerc. And winning the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, I have put Max Verstappen.
Absolute.
I feel like he could get Checo off the line, and then he might get a few seconds ahead of Leclerc and Checo, and then they have but I can see Sergio and Leclerc having a great fight, which then means when Leclerc eventually overtakes Max is already 10 seconds down the road. Because Perez will
when Leclerc overtakes Perez.
Yes, when Leclerc.
Not Max, and then Max will be ahead. No.
Yeah. Leclerc and Perez have a big battle, lose those time to Max. Leclerc will then eventually get past him, but he'll be too far behind.
Yeah, fair enough. My P3 is Lando Norris. Very solid podium for the McLaren driver. That leaves Leclerc and Verstappen as the 1-2, and I've got them the same way round as you. I just think in terms of quality pace, I think the Ferrari's a quicker car, but Perez is massively out, just full of confidence and perform really well. So I think that's the reason he'll take pole. And I think Max is just a little bit better than Sainz. But then in terms of the racecraft, I think the Red Bull tends to run better in the race, but also Max runs better in the race.
Yeah.
So I think with Perez being able to control the pace, well, not really, but you know what I mean, he's in the lead in that, I think Verstappen will be able to go for Leclerc.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, when all the pit stops and stuff happen, Verstappen comes out ahead. And then, and in terms of why Norris and Alonso stay ahead of Perez and Sainz, I think you saw how Alonso was able to trying to work with other drivers to help out his teammate. I think they could
Alonso train has a return.
I think Norris and Alonso could, work together here, because I don't think they're going to fight.
No.
In which case that could leave Perez and Sainz just squabbling over, trying to get up to Alonso and Norris. But I think if they work together, they'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
But that is all for today's video. So this would leave Max championship leader in mind. You would obviously, still Max the championship leader, and Ferrari would be well off Red Bull based on mine as well.
Yeah.
Right, but that is all. Make sure to get your predictions down below in the comments. This is the last video about F1 preview stuff for Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked out the F2 one, that went out this morning, so make sure to go check that one out. Give all the comments, leave a like, hit subscribe, all that good stuff. Now we're on 36 subs, so we can get to 40 soon. Who knows? But thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.